what I do know for sure is that, Charlie was someone who once said, guns save lives, after a school shooting.
Why do we protect our banks, our airports, and our sports stadiums with people with guns, but not our schools?
I think that that's a fair point, and that...
And I'm not discounting, the background check thing, but it's incredible moral perversion. You can't get in a Dodger Stadium without seeing 50 cop cars and people with guns everywhere. You can't go to LAX without going through basically a demilitarized zone. But you could go into a local Long Beach elementary school, and we decide to not protect our kids. So we protect our airplanes and our sports teams, but we don't protect our own children. People say, oh, I don't want our schools to be militarized. Well, then you don't want to protect our kids. And in fact, school resource officers with guns have shown to prevent school shootings, limit school shootings, or even intervene before the school shooting happens.
Charlie was someone who was willing to debate and downplay the death of George Floyd in the hands of Minneapolis police.
I think he called him a scumbag.
Right, have no regard, downplay slavery.
Would a pastor be in error if he did not speak against slavery in this country? Say, of course. Would a pastor be in error if a pastor did not speak about how kids are being sold into sex slavery? Well, newsflash, there are more people being sold in slavery in this country right now on the southern border than any time in the last couple hundred years, and the church is silent. There are 320,000 kids that we know of that have gone missing, many of whom are now teenage prostitutes and sex slaves for the cartel in the interior of the United States. That kids, God's children, are being sold as sex slaves in our own country.
And what Black people have gone through in this country.
Black Americans are poorer today in 2024 than they were in the 1950s.
Yes. Why do you think that is?
Good question. So we have the Civil Rights Act, we have more benefits, more government programs. Something changed between the 1950s and 2024. So there's two answers to this question. Either America got more racist since 1950s to 2024, because Black Americans are worse off today per capita than they were. You agree with that? Okay, good.
Yeah.
Than in the 1950s. Or there's another explanation, and I think the truth is somewhere in the middle, which is I think you would acknowledge that the disappearance of the Black father has been the #1 driver of Black poverty in this country.
And I think, there are a lot of people who are out there talking about him just wanting to have a civil debate.
Complete rewriting of history.
Yeah, there is nothing more effed up, than to completely pretend that, his words and actions have not been recorded and in existence for the last decade or so.